I'm 26F, husband 35M. My husband recently fell off a roof at work, broke his elbow, needed surgery, fractured his hip in a few places, and now has bulging discs in his lower back. I ran all over for him and have been taking care of him for almost 2 weeks since it happened, washing him in the shower like everything. I'm 9 months pregnant and due January 7th, so I'm exhausted. I decided for the first time in years to go through his phone. I used to at the very beginning of our relationship because there was cheating. But we both worked hard and overcame it. So I thought, well, I decided to open his Snapchat, and there is 2 women he has been talking to. One he had saved titty pictures from, and the other was the girl he cheated with me on when we first got together almost 6 years ago. The titty picture girl he has been friends with since 2023 January. The other he cheated with me on, he has been friends with her since the end of October this year. I woke him up and showed him what I found. He was immediately pissed. Told me he was done with me and left to his mother's. Of course I begged and pleaded for him not to. Embarrassing, I know. But then I got pissed, told him I have wasted so much time on him and I'm done. Well, when that was said, he was messaging almost instantly, telling me he never asked for the titty pics and that the other girl is a dumb ass and he just uses her. He ended up coming home. Not wanting to talk really, but I did a lot. He says he loves me and is sorry, of course. Here's my fucking problem. I have abused in every relationship I have been in, sexually and physically, except with my husband. To me, he really is a good guy, well, to my face at least. Why do I find myself still waiting on him? Hugging him and kissing him, we even had sex. Just trying my fucking best to be happy. I think it's because I'm about to have our first child and I don't want a broken family for him. And this baby was planned. He has been talking about having a baby with me for years. I'm so fucking confused. Angry isn't even the word. I'm confused on why he would do this to me, especially while pregnant. And not to mention, I'm a good wife. I cook. I keep a very clean house. I take care of bills, making sure they are paid on time. My husband works and makes more money. I just make sure everything is set and on time. I up until 2 weeks ago worked more than full time at my own job on top of everything. And I'm confused on if he actually loves me. Confused on why I'm not leaving him. Have I just been traumatized so many fucking times that my brain is protecting me from my real emotions? If so, I thank it, haha. What is wrong with me? I, 28F, had been dating this guy, 32M, for over 5 years. We started dating when I was in school, so there wasn't really any pressure on my side to settle down in the first few years. Around the 3-year mark after I had graduated, I started hinting that I wanted us to take things to the next level, but he gave me all sorts of excuses. In the last year before we broke up, things started getting really bad. He'd constantly compare me with his friends' GFS/wives and make remarks about wanting me to be more submissive, though not directly. Other times he'd do things that'd provoke me into fighting with him. After one of those fights, he told me he needed space to reevaluate things, and I obliged. But I kept reaching out to him and would occasionally hook up with him. All this time, he didn't want to talk about our situation. But he'd give me a lot of mixed signals. Sometimes he'd hint that he couldn't live without me and that even if we didn't end up together, he'd know he'd be thinking about me while inside his wife. He'll ghost me for weeks, and when he returns, I could sense somethings were just off about him. His dress sense, sneaky calls to family, new TV shows he was into, his emoji usage, etc. Despite my suspicions, I still continued to hook up with him, hoping things get better. Anyway, I found out from a mutual friend that he'd actually monkey branched into a new relationship and just stringing me along. Apparently he'd known this girl for a little while before we broke up. He'd bragged that she was calmer, more family-oriented, and someone his family would easily approve given her background. I was very heartbroken. NGL. I confronted him about this, and he was very nasty to me. I decided to block his number and move on with my life. After I had blocked him, he's been creating multiple numbers and accounts to contact me, and I've shut it down every time. His messages usually contain a mixture of word salads about either wanting to catch up or I'll always hold a special place in his heart, lol. This is the funny part for me. So far, here are the kind of things he has done after I reject his attempts. He'd either follow a bunch of random women on Insta, I guess to prove his desirability, share posts about evil exes, go on a fancy date and post about his new great relationship, tweet about being on a fun vacation, tweet how life is much better without evil exes, change his profile pictures/headers multiple times. For context, he hardly used to use social media when we're together. On his birthday, which was a few days after I rejected his attempts, he decided to change his Twitter header to something nasty I told him in that past, not my proudest moment. I have since deleted all my social media accounts because I didn't want to give any more of my attention. He's obviously doesn't care about me and is just contacting me to hook up/gain some validation. But it's a bit comforting to see the effects this has on him too. I also have found solace in the fact that I didn't really lose a good thing. He's clearly immature and, in retrospect, emotionally abusive given how he violates my boundaries even though I keep blocking him. Looks like screwing around with a bad girl and settling with a wifey girl isn't as smooth as he thought it'd be. I'm in my last year of high school, started the New Year's by finding out my boyfriend had been cheating on me. He did emotionally cheat in March, which actually turned out to be physical too, but I didn't know this and took him back. My first kiss with him was actually his second since I kissed him in April. I know it's like, wow, almost 2 years and you didn't even kiss him. I just was waiting till marriage. He got me a promise ring, asked my parents if he could marry me, told his own parents about us, and we celebrated our 1 year, May. Turns out September till December he had consistently been reaching out the same girl from March, and he told he was going to leave me/saying I was distant and he thought I was cheating, so she decided to stay since he promised that it was not going to last till the end of December. I honestly don't care about that because he is very manipulative. Every conversation he had with me, he would report to her and she found it weird and blocked him. Every event in his life was reported to the two of us, and he'd meet me in the mornings then lie about going to work. They worked together to spend time with her. The girl's friend had followed me on Insta, and I found it funny, so I told my boyfriend. He panicked and told me to block her, so obviously I didn't. I followed her back and then the paragraphs, screenshots, and even photos were all in there. I sent him one message, "So you've been cheating on me?" And he rung me till I picked up, lying about it on God, we are religious, that all he did was kiss her on the cheek and they were only friends, blah blah blah, lies. He made out with her multiple times and it was very much not platonic. I was distant in November due to exams and he took that as an invite to go insane with the cheating. I was really hurt, so I lied and said yeah, I had a crush on a guy too, to which he immediately switched up talking about how I've hurt him so much and how he no longer wants to save the relationship. I didn't actually give a fuck because that boat sunk the second I got those messages. He blocked me everywhere before I got the chance, and me and the girl have since been talking. I wonder if this even impacts him since he is now in my eyes a serial cheater. He was talking to 4 girls in March, including the girl from the post, and even asked a girl out at work. I am hurt, but I'm not as hurt as I was the first time around. I'm taking this as a sign to just cut loose and start fresh, considering I was basically forced to leave him in 2024. Is he ever going to regret it? He seemed so happy and I know I shouldn't care, but he has completely destroyed me.